Hey everybody, welcome to the Calitraveler Podcast Show. I'm your host, Paul. Once again, welcome to the Calitraveler Podcast Show. I'm your host, Paul. Welcome to episode 9 of the Calitraveler Podcast Show. This week we'll be discussing returning to school while in the middle of a pandemic. So obviously everyone in the world is aware that we are currently in the midst of a pandemic, the Covid-19 pandemic, to be exact. And 5 days ago was the first time that I had gone back to school in 8 months. So for the past 8 months, my university switched all classes to online. So for 2 semesters, I was studying online. And 12th of November, the new semester began. And a lot of people were freaking out because they couldn't understand why there's quote-unquote hybrid classes. So the school is open back up on campus as well as online, but the online classes are for students that are trapped abroad and they can't get back into Thailand due to the pandemic. However, because I'm not in the States and I'm in Thailand, I didn't file a petition to study online, so no need. So the 12th of November was the first day of my third year, second semester. I had cinematography class and digital media context, which are both very interesting classes. So digital media context basically is just analyzing digital media. Cinematography is learning how to shoot movies. When I first got onto campus, it was a very surreal feeling. Didn't really have any emotions. I wasn't excited. I wasn't sad. I wasn't disappointed. Excited to go back on campus. It was just basically emotionless. It was like one of those post-apocalyptic movie scenes when, society has been destroyed and then all of a sudden, you're walking somewhere and then you see a group of survivors. That's literally what it felt like to be back on campus. It was just all of a sudden you see life on campus. Because I would go to campus the past 8 months. We have a 7-Eleven on campus. I would sometimes go there. Sometimes I would grab lunch or dinner at one of the restaurants at the university. And when I went during the pandemic, or I should say the beginning of the pandemic, it was completely empty. I mean, it literally looked like a ghost town. I might see 2, 3, maybe 4 people, but other than that, it was just pretty much me on my own the entire time. After going online for the past 8 months for classes, I was actually relieved to be back at campus. I mean, yeah, online studying is great and all, but if you're somebody like me who's an extreme extrovert, it sucks. When you are just away from all that socializing, you're just away from all your friends and just from everybody. So the fact that I got to go back onto campus was actually a blessing in disguise. I'm sure, like many of you, I dealt with depression during the pandemic. Not being able to do things I wanted to do before, not being able to see my friends. But now I finally got to, and it was an amazing feeling. Especially being a digital media student, I actually prefer to study on campus rather than online, because in digital media, you do a lot of hands-on activities, such as shooting movies, doing audio productions, basically what I'm doing right now. And just being able to go do more things, whereas online, basically I'm confined to my home or surroundings of my home, so I don't really get to do much. So going back to campus has been amazing, especially being able to go to the ABAC studios, which my university, we've got a studio, and there's rooms for TV production, video editing, and audio production. So it was pretty cool to be able to go back and be able to go to that room again at the ABAC studios. So yeah, it was a very surreal feeling. Now I'm really excited for this semester because not only am I doing cinematography as well, but I'm also doing sound design for digital media communication. So basically, I get to learn what I'm already doing, which is recording podcasts, recording commercials, recording Foley sounds, which I don't know if any of you know what Foley sound is, but Foley sound, let's say you watch a cartoon and you hear like the sound of footsteps. That's called Foley. Or for instance, for grandparents would listen to the radio and they would listen to like a Western program, and you would hear like the sound of like a horse trotting. It's actually coconut shells being clanked on top of a table, and that's called Foley sound. So we get to learn a lot about that, and it's going to be extremely exciting. So, I'm really looking forward to being able to share my experiences with you as this semester progresses, because I've got a lot of stories that I'm going to be able to tell you all. So it's going to be just absolutely amazing. It's good to be on campus. But I will let you guys know that even though campus is open again, we do have social distancing still. So whenever you're lined up somewhere, you've got to be at least 1 meter or 6 feet away from that person. Okay, no problem. So I already do that when I'm outside of the house, like at the malls or at a restaurant. As well as while you are inside, you're required to wear a mask. So my school's not playing around with that. So basically, life is somewhat getting back to normal. It's just having to play it safe. But I guarantee that as long as we all work together, as long as we maintain social distancing, as long as we wear our masks and we do what we can, we'll be able to beat this pandemic, and we'll be able to go back to living life normally like before. No social distancing, no masks. Well, with the exception of here in Bangkok because of the pollution. So I highly advise not forgetting the mask. But other than that, I'm looking forward to where this semester goes, and I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences with you all. Podcast can be heard weekly on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to Calitraveler 93, as well as liking my Facebook page, Calitraveler 93, and the podcast will be available on Spotify and other platforms. You know, man.